What's up, guys? Welcome back.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. You may notice it is just Jared and I right now.
I know. We had a very crazy last, what, 48 hours, you could say? Boy.
Guys, what is our life? Like,
I know,
why does
right?
stuff like this always seem to happen? But we are super grateful. Our sweet Jared, you can probably tell by the title of this video, something went down.
Yeah, something not good. In fact, very, very scary.
It was scary.
We're going to kind of rewind a little bit here. So Nate and Michelle first got here. It was awesome. It was really fun. We got to hang out for that first day, that first night. Everything kind of went according to plan. We played Settlers of Catan. Michelle dominated, like always.
Walk. I mean, they were only here half the day, but
yeah,
it was an awesome first day. So much fun.
Then the next day, later that evening, was the Super Bowl.
We started the day off. It was awesome. We were up at the pool. It was a beautiful day. Oh my gosh, Nora and little Madeline were having the time of their life. Nora's getting so brave. She wanted to swim all by herself. Of course, she had her floaty on. The best start to the day. And then, as Jared mentioned, later that night was the Super Bowl.
And that's where things took a turn for the worst. And I'm talking like literally the worst.
I was making like appetizers, you know, like game day snack food.
Yeah.
Like we were so excited. Jared had it up on the projector and everything.
Yeah, and that little projector, I mean, that thing is awesome, by the way. We love that thing.
Yeah, so it was awesome. We were so excited. The girls had just gone down.
Everything was perfect.
I made a charcuterie board. I was so excited. And I also made this really yummy dip. It was lentils from Trader Joe's and then bruschetta, and you mix it together. You can add feta cheese. It's delicious. You eat it with crackers. And here's the thing, guys. I've made this dip before, and Jared's had it before.
Yes.
So we think there's just like, we know it's not the charcuterie board because you eat that all the time.
Yeah.
We're all having a good time, munching, eating, watching the game.
And then things literally take a turn for the worse. So I'm eating this dip, and I honestly love it. And so like it tastes really, really good. So I'm eating it, and I think it was just because I was eating it in such like, almost like large quantities. I wasn't like huffing it down or anything like that. And then I started noticing that my lips were starting to itch, my tongue was starting to itch, like even like my throat right here was starting to itch, and then it like started to swell up. And it was like inside my mouth was starting to swell, like back here inside my cheek, on the top of my mouth, like below your tongue, like underneath there, like everything was starting to swell up and itch. So some of you guys may or may not know, but I'm actually had allergic reactions before, and like for example, I'm allergic to chickpeas. And anyways, so I've been through something like this before, and so I was like, oh, I better take some Benadryl right now just to make sure that I'm on top of this. So I ended up taking 1.5 Benadryl.
Yeah.
But then I realized those Benadryls were expired by like a year. And so I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, were they even gonna be effective? Like, what's gonna happen? Anyways, fast forward, my eyes started to itch, my ears started to itch, like everything was like starting to swell up on my face, and I was getting really, really nervous.
At that point, we were like, well, maybe we should run and get not expired Benadryl.
Yeah.
So Jared and I jump in the car to go get some unexpired Benadryl, you know, because we were thinking, okay, maybe we need some that actually can help and work, because it was getting worse.
Yeah, it was getting worse and worse, and like the Benadryl that I'd already taken, the one that was expired, like I didn't really feel like it was doing anything. And I know that Benadryl usually takes about 15 to 30 minutes to like kick in.
Yeah.
And at that point, it had been about like 20-ish minutes and like nothing was really happening. I was getting pretty darn nervous. Brittany was getting very nervous. Brittany was starting to notice like a noticeable change in the sound of my voice. Like my voice was like getting like deeper and deeper, and it was because my throat was swelling up.
And that has never happened.
That has never happened. Like my esophagus was like getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And that was making us like extremely nervous.
Oh, literally 5 minutes to 8 p.m. We look up urgent care. Of course we know where it's at because we've been there. And I am just like flooring it there, hoping like crazy that they are not, because they closed at 8. Yeah. Hoping that they would like see us or at least give us advice on like what to do. So we go there, we get there
5 minutes before they close.
Like 5 minutes before.
And the door is locked, and I'm literally like, I can't speak, but I'm like knocking on the door, and I was like, allergic reaction. Eventually they opened up the door and they said, oh, the doctor had left. At this point we were thinking we have to go to the emergency room right now. Yeah,
so as I'm driving, the thought hit me, like, because when we left at that point, Nate and Michelle, like, they just thought it was, you know, a small allergic reaction.
Yeah, like something with Benadryl, that's all you needed. Yeah,
and then here's the thing, you guys, Nate is actually very allergic to nuts and certain kinds of seafood, shellfish. And he actually carries an EpiPen
with him at all times.
At all times. So I was like, as we're driving to the ER, I'm like, you know what, let me ask Nate like his opinion and kind of see what he thinks. So as we're
on our way to the emergency room at this point.
Yeah, so as we go, I call him and I was like, Nate, Jared's throat's like closing, because at this point we were way closer to our house than an emergency room.
Yeah.
And I was like, Nate, what do you think? And he's like, you know what, they're gonna give him an EpiPen. He's like, I have one. He's like, how far away are you? And we were like, not too far. So
I know, we were so nervous. He ended up calling his brother as well, that's a doctor, and he was telling him the same thing. They're gonna give him an EpiPen, so give him yours. And Brittany looked it up too, like the same, sure enough, like that's what they give you is an EpiPen at the emergency room.
And obviously we didn't want to go all the way to the ER because it would be a while, but also like for them just to give him the same thing and save like $1,000 or whatever it is, you know? I forgot to mention, I had picked up Benadryl before we went on our way to urgent care. So
yeah, so at this point I had 2 like not expired Benadryls in my body plus 1.5 expired.
Yes.
So at this point, like I have like at least some Benadryl pumping through my body.
Yes, you guys. And so anyways, as we're driving almost to our place, I can tell Jared's starting to speak a little bit better, and he's like, I think it's going down. He's like, I can actually like talk now, because before he couldn't barely talk at all. It was crazy.
Oh, I couldn't even like, I tried to take a little swig of water and I almost couldn't get it down. Like it made me terrified that I was going to choke. Ended up racing back to our house to get that EpiPen to like basically jab into my leg to get this like allergic reaction to go away. And by the time that we actually got home, like, you know, through our security and everything like that, we realized that I was actually able to speak better, that Brittany noticed that a noticeable change in my face, that the swelling had gone down. I knew that he only has these 1 EpiPens, and so I was thinking, you know what, let's just say a little prayer right now. Let's
give it a few minutes, see if this continues to go down, the swelling and everything. He was talking much better, because we knew we had the EpiPen, we could hurry and give him if we needed it.
Yeah, we just said a little prayer and just like pray that it would kick in, like continue to kick in, and that the swelling would continue to drop, and it did, you guys.
It did.
It did.
Oh my
It took a little while, but it did. Like little by little, it ended up just slowly going down and down and down.
Yeah.
And I had to take another one that night just to be able to go to sleep. I ended up sleeping almost, you know, the entire next day.
Yeah.
And anyways, so long story short, it took a long time. That was the worst allergic reaction I've ever had in my entire life. It terrified us. We went to urgent care, got turned down. We're on our way to the emergency room when we found out we had the exact like tool that we needed right there in our house.
And we were like 15 minutes closer to our house than driving all the way to the ER. And so anyways, you guys, I don't think it's by chance that like Nate had that EpiPen. He had so much knowledge with that. Obviously,
his brother was a doctor. Like that was the other thing. Michelle and Nate were so on top of it when they found out how severe it was.
Honestly, there's been so many situations where when Michelle and Nate are visiting, they like help us. Like when your dad passed away, do you remember that? Like they were here, they were staying with us, and they booked our flights. They helped me pack. They could watch Finn. Like it's so crazy, and that just brought us a ton of comfort. So anyways, you guys, needless to say, their vacation, the first full day, did not go as really planned, but that is okay. Jared is good. Everything's good, and honestly,
we're all good.
It taught us a big lesson. We're definitely gonna get an EpiPen to have on hand. Just knowing that he has these allergies, we need to figure out. We don't know if it must have been the lentils, is our guess.
I don't know. The thing is, you guys may or may not remember, but I also got like a whole allergy like scan of like 200, 300 different items. And it came back that I was allergic to peanuts, which I'm not, so
I don't know.
I have no idea what the problem was
there. We still need to figure that whole thing out, but super grateful. Our sweet Jared is doing good. Now we'll kind of know for future stuff, you know?
Exactly. So for moving forward though, you guys, we have fun stuff coming up. I know this is kind of a long story, so we'll probably cut it here.
Not our ideal vacation vlog with family in town, that's for sure, but that's real life. And you guys know we share real life. As Jared mentioned, we do have some fun plans, so make sure you come back. You're not going to want to miss out on that. Thanks for all the sweet comments. Michelle and Nate and their cute little family are so excited to be here in Florida. Speaking of that, we need to go meet up with them. So we're going to close out today's video, but we love you guys, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
See you guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye.